The Invisible Benefactor. Eleanor Ellie Harper, 68, stood in the tasting room of her Napa Valley vineyard, polishing the oak bar where tourists sipped her award-winning Cabernet Sauvignon. Her hands, calloused from decades of pruning vines, moved with quiet precision, but her heart was heavy. For 10 years, she'd been the silent benefactor to her nephew, Jake Larson, a 32-year-old aspiring actor in Los Angeles. Ellie had funded his headshots, $2,000, his Hollywood loft rent, $1,500 monthly, acting classes, $5,000 yearly, and even bailed out his agent's emergency fees, $3,000. Her accountant estimated she'd given Jake and his wife, Mia, over $75,000, drawn from her vineyard's profits and her late husband Tom's life insurance. Ellie never asked for gratitude. Jake was the son she and Tom never had, the boy who'd spent summers chasing fireflies in her vineyard, laughing as she taught him to tend the grapes. But lately, Jake's calls were curt, always ending with a plea. "Aunt Ellie, just one more month's rent." Mia, a former model with a dazzling smile, sent heart emojis, but never a real conversation. Ellie clung to the dream of seeing Jake's name in lights, her sacrifices a quiet investment in his Hollywood success. One crisp October morning in 2025, Ellie scrolled through Instagram on her outdated iPhone. A post from Jake's account stopped her cold, a red carpet photo from his first credited role in an indie film, Starless Nights. Jake, in a sleek tuxedo, grinned beside Mia in a glittering gown, surrounded by a director, co-stars, and Mia's parents toasting with champagne. The caption read, "Dreams come true. Thank you to my real family for being here. Hashtag premiere night, hashtag Hollywood." Ellie zoomed in, searching for herself, though she hadn't been invited. Mia's siblings were there, even Jake's old acting coach. But not Ellie. The woman who'd made it all possible was erased. She sat on a barrel in the cellar, the phone heavy as a stone. The pale blue dress. The breaking point. A week later, Jake called. Ellie's heart lifted, hoping for an apology. Instead, his voice was impatient. "Aunt Ellie, the landlord's threatening eviction. Can you send $3,000? No mention of the premiere." "No, how are you?" Ellie's throat tightened. "Jake," she said, her voice steady despite the ache. "Why wasn't I invited to your premiere?" A pause. Mia's voice cut in. She'd been on speaker. "Oh, Ellie, it was a small event, just close family and industry folks. You know how these things are." Her tone was sweet but sharp, like a blade wrapped in silk. Close family. Ellie, who'd paid for their life, wasn't close enough. "I see," Ellie said, hanging up without committing to the money, a first in 10 years. That night, she sat at her kitchen table, surrounded by receipts and bank statements. She tallied every dollar given to Jake and Mia, $18,000 in rent, 12 months x $1,500 x 10 years, $50,000 in acting classes, $3,000 for headshots and agent fees, plus $4,000 in miscellaneous emergencies. Total, $75,000. She'd skipped her own vacations, foregone vineyard upgrades, eaten canned soup to stretch her budget. All for them. And they couldn't invite her to one night of celebration. The next morning, Ellie drove to Napa Valley Bank. "Mr. Torres," she told her longtime banker, "I'm stopping all transfers to Jake's account. And I want to secure my savings." Mr. Torres, who'd processed her payments for years, nodded. "Ellie, I've seen you give so much. I'm glad you're prioritizing yourself." As she signed the papers, her phone buzzed to Jake. She let it go to voicemail. His message was frantic. "Aunt Ellie, the bank said you canceled the transfer. We're gonna get evicted." Ellie didn't reply. For the first time, she felt a spark of freedom, like a vine breaking through hard soil. The legal ambush. 2 weeks later, a man in a pinstripe suit knocked on Ellie's door. "Mrs. Harper, I'm Richard Klein, attorney for Jake and Mia Larson. They're concerned about your mental health and request a conservatorship evaluation." Ellie's stomach dropped. "My mental health?" she asked, gripping the doorframe. Klein's smile was slick. "You've shown erratic behavior, cutting off family support, installing excessive security cameras, isolating yourself. We want to ensure you're safe. Ellie's mind raced. She'd added cameras after Jake and Mia showed up unannounced last week, demanding she explain herself, while rifling through her desk for bank statements. Isolation? She joined a book club and started painting again, hobbies abandoned to fund their dreams. Klein's narrative painted her as a paranoid recluse, a setup to seize her assets. She refused to sign anything and called Clara, a retired paralegal friend. Clara arrived within the hour, her silver hair pulled back, eyes sharp. Ellie, this is elder financial abuse. They're trying to declare you incompetent to control your vineyard and savings. We need a lawyer, now. Clara connected Ellie with Sofia Alvarez, a pro bono attorney specializing in elder rights. Sofia reviewed Ellie's records and whistled. $75,000 in 10 years, and they excluded you from their big moment? This is textbook exploitation. We'll countersue for fraud and emotional distress, but first, we need proof of your competency. Ellie visited Dr. Patel, a respected Napa psychologist. After cognitive tests and interviews, Dr. Patel concluded, Mrs. Harper is not only competent, but exceptionally sharp. Her decisions are rational and self-protective. Sofia dug deeper, uncovering Jake's gambling debts, $20,000 on credit cards Ellie had co-signed, a secret he'd kept. The fight back. Sofia built a case, documenting every payment Ellie made to Jake and Mia, supported by bank records and texts. She also found Mia's Venmo transactions for luxury purchases, designer bags, spa days, while Ellie ate frugally. The evidence was damning. Meanwhile, Ellie's book club friends rallied around her. Clara, now her fiercest ally, suggested a bold move. Go public. Post your story online, Clara urged. Let the world see what they've done. Ellie hesitated. She'd never been one for attention, but Clara helped her craft a post on X. For 10 years, I funded my nephew's Hollywood dreams. $75,000 later, I wasn't invited to his premiere. Now they're suing to declare me incompetent to take my money. I'm done being their ATM. Hashtag elder abuse, hashtag family betrayal. She attached a photo of her vineyard, vibrant and alive, symbolizing her strength. The post went viral, amassing 10,000 likes and shares overnight. Strangers commented support, some sharing similar stories. A local news outlet picked it up, dubbing Ellie the Napa Warrior. Jake and Mia escalated. They hired a psychiatrist, Dr. Lehman, who claimed Ellie's refusal to cooperate proved mental decline. But Sofia countered with Dr. Patel's evaluation and Ellie's meticulous financial records. She also subpoenaed Jake's gambling records, revealing he'd lost $15,000 in Vegas, while Ellie paid his rent. The trial loomed, set for a Napa courthouse in December 2025. Ellie prepared with Sofia, practicing her testimony. Don't let them rattle you, Sofia said. You're not the confused old lady they want the judge to see. You're a businesswoman who's taken back her life. The courtroom showdown. The courthouse was packed. Ellie's book club friends, vineyard workers, even local reporters filled the seats. Jake sat across the room in a new suit, Mia beside him in black, her eyes cold. Their lawyer, Klein, opened with a patronizing tone. Your Honor, Mrs. Harper has shown clear mental decline, cutting off her loving nephew, installing paranoid security systems, and falling under the influence of new friends who've isolated her from family. Ellie's blood boiled, but Sofia squeezed her hand. Klein called Mia, who wept theatrically. Aunt Ellie was like a mother to me. Seeing her change, cutting us off, acting secretive. It breaks my heart. Sofia's cross-examination was surgical. Mrs. Larson, when did you last call Mrs. Harper without asking for money? Mia stammered. We talked about lots of things. A specific date? Sofia pressed. Mia couldn't answer. Jake testified next, claiming Ellie's erratic decisions like stopping payments proved instability. Sofia countered. Mr. Larson, you owe $20,000 in gambling debts on cards co-signed by your aunt. Is that why you need her money? Jake's face reddened, his silence deafening. Sophia called Dr. Patel, who presented Ellie's flawless cognitive results. Clara testified about Ellie's vibrant new life: painting, book club, community events. Mr. Torres, the banker, confirmed Ellie's rational financial decisions. Then Ellie took the stand. Her voice was clear, steady. "I gave Jake and Mia $75,000 over 10 years because I loved them. I thought I was helping their dreams. But when they excluded me from Jake's premiere and called me not close family, I realized I was just their bank. I stopped the payments to reclaim my life, not because I'm confused, but because I'm clear." Klein's cross-examination tried to paint her as paranoid, but Ellie answered with precision, detailing every expense she'd covered. The judge, a no-nonsense woman named Miller, listened intently. After a 2-hour deliberations, a new harvest. 3 months later, Ellie stood in her vineyard, pruning a row of vines under a spring sun. Her ex-post had sparked a movement, with seniors nationwide sharing stories of family exploitation using #NapaWarrior. A Netflix producer contacted her, optioning her story for a docuseries. Ellie used the advance to transform her vineyard into Harper's Haven, a retreat for seniors recovering from family betrayal, offering workshops on financial literacy and emotional healing. Jake and Mia moved to a cheaper apartment, and Ellie heard Mia got a job as a receptionist, her first in years. Ellie felt no bitterness, only relief. She traded an illusion of family for real connections: Clara, her book club, her new retreat guests. One evening, painting a sunset over her vines, Ellie smiled. The woman who'd once lived for others was now living for herself. Freedom tasted like her best vintage: bold, rich, and entirely her own.